Pro basketball and soccer players are elite athletes. But when halftime comes, who keeps the crowd on their feet? Meet Christian and Scooby, wowing their audiences worldwide. From NBA and soccer halftime shows to America's Got Talent and beyond, their jaw-dropping acrobatic story steals the show today on Industry Bets. Welcome to the show, Christian and Scooby. How's it going?
Going great. Thank you for having us on. I'm sure Scooby would send that message too if he could speak.
We are so excited to have you on the show today. So you travel the world performing with Scooby at different shows, sporting events, even America's Got Talent as well.
Yeah. We've done a few of the Got Talent shows actually. So we've done America's Got Talent, and then we've been on Germany as well. We won the Germans Got Talent, but we've been all over the world. We've done some of the Got Talent shows and some different kind of events. And obviously our main thing, I think most people would say, is that we do a lot of halftime shows for basketball games. And so that season's just around the corner. So at this point, it's just kind of getting ready for that and a lot of traveling.
Hey, let's talk about Scooby and how did that begin? How did you know Scooby had this skill too? I know that you were born into talent, but how did you know Scooby had it?
Yeah, so with Scooby, it actually began just pretty randomly. When I was 10, I started kind of doing handstand stuff, and I wanted a pet, so we got a small dog so that we could travel with him, and it was the original Scooby. He was a Chihuahua, and little by little, one day I was just sitting at home watching TV, and kind of like I wasn't sitting, I was like laying on my stomach. And he sat on my back and he was asking my dad for treats, essentially, because my dad was eating dinner. And when Scooby would kind of want our attention, he would do this thing with his paws and he would move them up and down, which was his way of, getting our attention for treats or whatever. And so he said he did that while sitting on my back. And that just kind of sparked the idea to my father, who was like, oh, tomorrow when we go practice, why don't we bring him along and see if he does this on your back while you're doing that handstand trick that you're practicing. And so we were like, all right, well, let's see what happens. And so we tried it. He did it. He got his treat. And it also kind of started expanding our minds into like, oh, what else could we try? And so next thing you know, we're, doing another trick and another trick. And obviously it evolved into the act that's known as Christian and Scooby. And throughout the years, there's been different generations of Scoobies. So this here is technically his real name's Percy, but he's the current top dog, I guess you could say. He's the Scooby, but he's 11. And then we have a younger pup. His name's Milo, but he's the third generation of Scoobies. And so we just kind of keep the name Scooby when we're performing at places, so people kind of recognize us and keep the consistency. But they each have their own personalities and the quirks and things. And so even when training them, you kind of have to just watch them and listen to them and pick up on what they like, what they don't like, how comfortable they are in this situation and that situation. And so all that is part of the training process. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty wild that it's been, so far already a good run, and we hope it continues for years to come.
So there's been 3 generations of Scooby so far. What was the first Scooby's name? It was just Scooby?
Scooby.
Okay,
yeah,
it was actually Scooby.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the second one you said was? Percy, and then Milo.
Right, yeah.
Okay, got you. 3 so far, amazing. So, okay, is there tricks that different generations can do, or do you kind of like take out like some of the tricks as they change out? Like maybe they have trouble with one and, maybe the older Scooby did one and the younger Scooby doesn't do that one, or can they do exactly the same?
Yeah, for the most part, it's usually in the other direction. So for the most part, they kind of add to what the previous one has done. Just because I feel like I've also gotten better at kind of listening and watching them and getting ideas from them and things like that. And like Percy is the one that started doing the walking on the basketball trick. The original Scooby did not do that trick, and we never tried that with the original Scooby. It just happened to be that I was at the gym at my alma mater, and I had a basketball, and Percy was kind of eyeing it. And I was like, oh, that's weird. He's so curious about this basketball. And I saw a kid kind of walking on like a circus globe, and it just sparked the idea. And little by little, he picked it up really, really quickly. And so that became his like addition to the act. Milo is the one that does the little slam dunk tricks because he loves to play with toys all the time. So he's always biting on like a different kind of ball. So I was like, oh, what can I create with this basketball that he really likes to play with? And so obviously that's how that idea kind of came about. So, and like the original Scooby didn't do the walking on the basketball trick that Percy does. Milo does the walking on the basketball, but also added the dunks that Percy doesn't do. And then the other way, there are tricks that you kind of throughout the years, like, like the original Scooby used to walk on his front paws, like do like a handstand trick. And Percy actually did that for the first few years, but I could kind of start seeing that he was cheating it at the end. And I was like, maybe he's not as comfortable doing that, maybe because he was getting a little older. So I took that out. And with Milo, we trained it a little in the beginning, and I could tell he was kind of struggling. So we just took it out, and it was just something that was like, okay, they're not comfortable with this trick. So, you kind of go off of them a little bit and what they're comfortable with and not comfortable with. So, but overall, I think, our act has definitely evolved and had more added to it than taken out.
I love that you incorporate the dog's feelings into what you make them do or not do, because, a lot of people see it and they don't understand what's going on behind the scenes. And it's just so cool that you have so much care when it comes to training your animals.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the best part about what I do is that I get to travel around with my pet with me and, essentially play on the basketball court, and we get to play on the court. And so I think not just the fans, but even myself, no one wants to see a dog or any animal for that matter, like do anything that they don't really want to be doing. Like it's good. Sometimes, sometimes less is more. Like you could see a performance where, like, I don't know, if a dog was doing something crazy that you're like, but the dog isn't having a great time doing it or something, and you're like, that doesn't look great. But instead, if you see them do maybe something simpler, but it's cute and they've got the energy and they love what they're doing, like it just makes it so much, it just brings everyone's mood up. And so, including myself, and when I perform, I want to be having a good time too. And so at the same time, like it's the best way to have a good time is to know that they're also enjoying what they're doing, and that essentially they're looking forward to the performances and looking forward. They come off the stage like ready for their treat, and they're so excited to be out there. And so that's ultimately the best part.
That's amazing. So give me what are some of what are some of Scooby's favorite basketball celebrities he's met?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, some of Scooby's, man, I feel like I'm blanking on a few because I'm sure there's so many out there that we've met. But, we've met movie stars. We've been New York, like Ben Stiller is one that comes to mind that we've met. We've met musical artists like Taylor Swift comes to mind, meeting her. That was super cool. Athletes as well, obviously, when we're, in the arenas a lot of the time. So but that part of it in a way has evolved as well with me, because in the beginning I was such a like a fanboy when I would be like, at a game or something. It was like, oh my God, there's James Harden or whatever. But then when those guys kind of come up to you and say, what's going on? How are you? Or whatever. Or even they're like, oh, like, can I pet him real quick? It kind of, like you realize like they're just like me. They're just like you. They're just here at work and putting in their hours. And so when they see a dog doing something crazy, they also are going to be like, what is that? Like Giannis was like that once, I remember. And this is before Giannis even blew up. I just happened to remember later because I remember somebody being like, oh, he's our rookie. He's from Greece. But at the time, obviously, nobody knew who Giannis Antetokounmpo was like that. But I remember he was watching Percy on the basketball and being like, wow, that's so cool, And so, in a sense, that kind of just, like I said, once you're in that environment, you kind of just are like, wow, that's so cool, But obviously, a lot of the celebs and the guests that come to the games and stuff. Obviously, we've been on the show with Jimmy Fallon, and so he was a celebrity that we met and, took part in, and so that was super cool. The judges from America's Got Talent were all super nice and super great. So yeah, I would say Scooby's met quite a few.
But is there anyone that he bonded with in particular? Was there any like funny story? Did one of their celebs have their dogs with them and they got along? And is there?
So two come to mind. The first one is the most recent one, which is actually Fluffy, the comedian. He's a big Chihuahua lover. And we did a show on Nickelodeon with him, and he he loves dogs, and so he was super cool. And then he even had us come out. He was celebrating his Chihuahua's birthday, and he had a big party for his Chihuahua, and
that's
so
awesome.
we performed there as like guest performers. And so Gabriel's super cool guy and super nice, and so that was pretty cool. I would say he definitely had a connection, just because I think like pets kind of can tell the people that are cool with pets, with their community. And I think like Scooby could tell that Fluffy was really nice and probably would give him some treats. And then the other one that comes to mind is when we were on America's Got Talent. Heidi, she was super nice to us, and even towards the end, I did a performance where I, at the time, used the younger Scooby, which at that time was Percy. Percy was the puppy then, and she actually held the original Scooby while I was performing on stage with Percy. So she had a good moment there with him, and so. But they're all super nice, but it's usually like it might be a quick interaction or something like that. Or Kylie Jenner once saw us perform and came by and was like, that was really good, great job. And she was with her, I don't know if they're still dating, but Timothy Chalamet, I don't know how to say his last name, I butchered that
Yeah.
one, but he was there too, and he was cool. So yeah.
Nice. Do you have a little time for trivia?
Oh yeah, let's do some trivia.
Every question you get right, we will donate $1 to the charity of your choosing. Today we are playing for the Humane Society, your charity of choice. So big shout out to the Humane Society and the great work that they do.
Yes, they've actually had us at a couple events, so they have so we like them. So
Awesome.
We work closely with them. So
Very, very cool. All right. So how many coat types do Chihuahuas have?
coat types? 1?
2. It is, I believe, the long hair and short hair Chihuahua.
You mean like, oh man, I should have known that. Duh. Okay. Great. Lovely. This
That's
would be
okay.
great for everybody to make fun of me for.
That's okay.
I was just thinking of mine. I was like, they're just short hair Chihuahuas. They're one coat type. I was thinking of like a dog that had like 2 on them or something.
Question number 2. What restaurant used Chihuahuas as their mascot for a while back in the 90s in the United States?
Taco Bell?
Correct.
Yeah. Got one. At least I'm on the board. Whew.
Are Chihuahuas more of a friendly to all or loyal to one breed?
Loyal to one, without a doubt.
Absolutely correct. How many color combinations do Chihuahuas come in? 2, 4, or many?
Oh. I'm going to go with many.
Correct. You won.
All right.
You won. All right.
Oh, I was
cool.
close. Look, I'm sweating over here. You had me nervous. I couldn't go 50% here. I had to at least get to 75%.
You did it. No, thank you so much for that. And then one last one. Where did Chihuahuas originate from?
Mexico.
City for a bonus question.
There's definitely probably a city in Mexico named Chihuahua. So
Correct.
I'm going with Chihuahua, Mexico.
There you go. Awesome. And that's been trivia time. Thank you. Big shout out to the Humane Society. And remember, everybody, you can do your part as well and donate to the Humane Society. And that would be a good, big favor for Christian and Scooby.
I'm sorry,
All right.
Humane Society. I left $1 on the table I should have had. But we'll make it up.
With these dogs and training these dogs, that requires treats. So what are Scooby's top 3 treats that you like to give them?
The top 3 Scooby snacks.
Yes.
In no particular order. Greenies for sure. They love greenies, especially Percy. Percy is all about the greenies. He loves greenies. But we also sometimes will give him like turkey or like other kind of food. If we have like a sandwich, especially because now they won't leave us alone when we're eating. Like, they will do the little paw thing because they know that we're gonna cave and give them a treat. So anytime we're having any kind of food, you can count on the fact that both of them are going to be next to us somewhere, and they're going to be doing the paw thing, waiting for something. But turkey, something like, if we're having sandwiches, obviously turkey is easy, so we'll give them turkey. And then the third one, I mean, I could say anything, because obviously, like chicken or steak or whatever we're eating, a lot of times if they're there, we'll let them have some for sure. But one that comes to mind that I feel like Milo loves is mango. My wife loves mango, and I don't know what it is, but he loves mango. So
wow,
that's
very
one
cool.
of them.
Very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. And what are the top 3 toys for Scoobies?
So top 3 toys, Percy actually is like a grumpy old man, so he does not play with toys. He never actually did, ever. So that was really weird. But even as a puppy, he was just very like serious already about his business. Milo is for sure any of the plush basketballs or footballs or baseballs that I have. He loves mini tennis balls as well. Those are maybe the top ones. And then when he was younger, it was golf balls, but we started not letting him play with golf balls because I think his teeth have started getting messed up, I think, with it. So we were like, no more golf balls, but ping pong balls are up there. He loves ping pong balls. So Those are the top 3 for sure. Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking time to be on the show. Tell everybody what you got going on and where they can find out all about you and Scooby.
Of course. Well, our website is christianandscooby.com, and from there you can find all our social media channels, or just search Christian and Scooby and you'll find us. And if you are a sports fan, chances are you will see us at some point this upcoming season. We do a lot of halftime shows, and we're at a lot of NBA and college arenas, and so hopefully you'll be seeing us soon. But yeah, follow along, follow us on social media, and see where our adventures take us. And also comment and write us, because I feel like I try to be as good as I can with responding to comments and stuff on social media, on Instagram. I feel like I try to engage with people as much as possible. So reach out to us and follow along.
Thanks so much, Christian. You have a great day.